Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to the honorable mentions list of albums that are 50 years old in 2023. We've been looking at all month long our favorite releases from 1973. We've all picked out our top 31 favorites, right? This is a very hard exercise to do because 1973 was a terrific year. And quite frankly, a lot of great albums that I love a lot just didn't quite make the cut, but that's the way it goes, right? And, a lot of the ones in my honorable mentions I've seen you guys mention throughout the month so many times. Saw so many people like, Pete, I can't believe you haven't mentioned this album yet. Well, you know what? They can't all be in the top 31, right? So my favorites don't necessarily have to coincide with yours. We all hear things differently. We all have our favorites. There might be some albums you guys love, some of you love, I don't really like. There's some stuff that I really love that you might not like. That's the way it should be. That's what music is all about, right? I think the important thing is we're all recognizing great albums from a great year, and we're listening to them, giving them some love, and we're talking about them. That's what it's all about. So let's get started with my honorable mentions list, starting off with one that was mentioned many times by so many of you, Aerosmith, self-titled debut from 1973. Not one of their best albums for me, but I do like it a lot. Some classic songs on there. Doesn't quite make the cut of 31 for me, but it's got to be on this list. Also, the self-titled debut from Camel. Excellent, excellent first album from a great legendary prog band. Speaking of prog, Rick Wakeman, Six Wives of Henry VIII. Top-notch stuff there. Little Feat, Dixie Chicken. One of my favorite Little Feat albums. I only put one album per artist on my lists, right? Because we want to make room for everybody. But if we had a lot more space, I would have had Elton John on my list twice because Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player is terrific. But of course, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road had to make the cut for me. Free, Heartbreaker, great British blues rock band fronted by, of course, none other than Paul Rodgers and company, Heartbreaker. Rory Gallagher, Blueprint. How about the Stooges? Iggy Pop and the Stooges, Raw Power, of course. Atlanta Rhythm Section, Back Up Against the Wall, great Southern rock album. Traffic, Shootout at the Fantasy Factory. Electric Light Orchestra, ELO 2. Roxy Music, For Your Pleasure. Here's one that, almost out of, almost got it like a sympathetic vote for me because we lost their main guy, Jeff Beck, this month. But Beck, Bogart, and a Piece, self-titled, one and only studio album from the band. Really cool album. Maybe not a great album, but I like it a lot. What else? Let's do some jazz. Herbie Hancock, Sextant. Great, great album from Herbie Hancock. The Faces, Ooh La La. Procol Harum, Grand Hotel. Argent, In Deep. Fleetwood Mac, Penguin. Very underrated album for them. I really like this era of the band, kind of the in-between, right? The Bob Welch era. I really, really dig a lot of those albums. Johnny Winter, Still Alive and Well. I'm going to name some. I didn't include any live albums in my list, but I'm going to include them here. Black Oak, Arkansas, Raunch and Roll Live. How about Roger Daltrey? Marshall Tucker Band, self-titled debut album. Excellent album. Rare Earth, Ma. Uriah Heep Live from 1973, the classic double live album. Hawkwind, Space Ritual. Wishbone Ash, Wishbone 4. Self-titled debut from Bachman Turner, Overdrive. Yes, indeedy. Yes Songs from Yes. Gong, Flying Teapot. Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells. Spooky Tooths, You Broke My Heart So I Busted Your Jaw. Man for Man, it's Earth Band, Messin. Joe Walsh, The Smoker You Drink, The Player You Get. Chicago 6. Genesis's classic live album, Genesis Live, the first live album. Carlos Santana and John McLaughlin, Love, Devotion, Surrender. Terrific, terrific fusion album. Mott the Hoople, Mott. Wes Bruce and Lang, Whatever Turns You On. How about Stevie Wonder, Inner Visions? Classic, a lot of you mentioned that. Here's two in a row that really pained me to leave off this list because I love both of them so much. There's a couple that are right there, like 32, 33, 34. The Rolling Stones, Goat's Head Soup. You know how much I love the Mick Taylor era. I love Goat's Head Soup. And the Allman Brothers Band, Brothers and Sisters. That one was a head scratcher because I'm like, God, I just can't fit it in there. And it's like, do I like this album better than all the other ones I mentioned? Maybe not, but I love Brothers and Sisters. Henry Cow, Legend. Or Legend, however you like to say it. Blood, Sweat, and Tears, No Sweat. The great heavy rock band from Australia, Buffalo, Volcanic Rock. about the James Gang? Bang. Great album with Tommy Bolin. Really good album. Another one that's hovering in my top 30. Or just outside, I should say. Another one, Sweet Freedom by Uriah Heep. I really like Sweet Freedom a lot. Is it a top 31 for me? Maybe not quite, but it's up there. Frank Zappa, Overnight Sensation. That's another one. Power Pop Legends, The Raspberries, Side 3. Great album. This next one was in my top 31, and it got bumped like the day before I started for something else, and so it's probably my number 32. Todd Rundgren's A Wizard, A True Star. Thin Lizzy, Vagabonds of the Western World. Black Oak, Arkansas, High on the Hog, probably their greatest studio album. Status Quo, Hello. Hello. Caravan, For Girls Who Grow Plump in the Night. Fleetwood Mac, another Fleetwood Mac entry this year. Mystery to Me. Grateful Dead, Wake of the Flood. Terrific studio album for them. Creedence Clearwater Revival, Live in Europe. Steve Miller Band, The Joker. Herbie Hancock, Headhunters. Rick Derringer, All American Boy. More live albums. Focus, At the Rainbow. Traffic, On the Road. Roxy Music, Stranded. Nazareth, Loud and Proud. All right, I had another Nazareth album. Had Razzle Manaz in my list, right? The two great albums from 1973. Billy Joel, Piano Man. Santana, Welcome. Another Rory Gallagher pick. Sorry, Rory Gallagher. Tattoo, my favorite of the two he released in 1973. John Lennon, Mind Games. The Kinks, Preservation Act 1. Man for Man's Earth Band, Solar Fire, 2 albums released that year. Green Slade, Bedside Manners Are Extra, great prog album. Mahavishnu Orchestra, Between Nothingness and Eternity, killer live album from them. Electric Light Orchestra, On the Third Day, another band that had 2 releases that year. That's my favorite of the 2 of them. On the Third Day is tremendous. Another entry from Gong, Angel's Egg. Here's one a lot of you were waiting for all month. Yes, Tales from Topographic Oceans. I like Topographic Oceans. It's not one of my favorite Yes albums. As an honorable mention, it's got to be here, but it's not one of the ones from the 70s that I often reach to, although there's plenty of great music on it. REO Speedwagon, Riding the Storm Out. Bachman Turner Overdriver, Here Again for BTO 2. Wishbone Ash, Live Dates, another live album. Curved Air, Air Cut. How about some Italian prog rock? Aria, Arbiet Mat Frey, or however they say that. Amboy Dukes, Call the Wild. More live stuff, Dave Mason is Alive. Another Italian prog rock album. This one also just sits outside of my top 30. Le Orme, Felona y Serona. Beautiful album. Eloy, Inside, great German prog band. Speaking of German, krautrock, Ashra Temple, Legends, Join In, great album. More Italian prog rock, Osana, Palapoli. Miles Davis, Black Beauty, Miles Davis at the Fillmore East. Great live album. More Italian prog rock, Banco del Mutuo Soccorso, Il Sono Nato Libero. Alpha Taurus, self-titled debut, another great Italian prog album. Stray Dog, self-titled, tremendous bluesy hard rock album with great guitar work. Golden Earring, Moontan. I mean, this list is ridiculously good. Weather Report, Sweet Nighter. Nectar, Remember the Future. Another one that I just agonized over not being able to fit into my top 31 because I love Remember the Future. It's just absolutely terrific. And that is the last one. That is the last one because it looks like I did McLaughlin and Santana, Love Devotion, Surrender twice on my list. So yeah, as you can see, that's quite a list, right? So overall, I mean, it's got to be about 100 albums between my 31 picks and all the honorable mentions, or fairly close to it. So 1973, just an absolutely tremendous year for music, and I'm sure many of you will have lengthy honorable mentions lists as well if you care to do that. Otherwise, it's just a great time to kind of look back on a historic year for music in general. 1973, most of those early 70s years, actually most of the 70s as a decade, had so many great albums each and every year. But of course, tomorrow we're changing gears. We're going to 40 years, 40-year anniversaries, 40th birthdays. We're going to 1983, 28 days in February. So I have already picked out my 28 favorites. I have my honorable mentions ready to go for the 28th, but that's a month from now. So everybody get your list ready. We're going to meet tomorrow morning, same bat time, same bat channel, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for day one of albums that are 40 years old in 1980. Albums that are 40 years old in 2023, looking back on the great year that was 1983. So stay tuned for that, and visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the notification bell so you get alert of all. I just said that. Please do hit the like button. Boy, oh boy, it's been a long day, guys. Anyway, usually I record these early in the morning. This one's recorded late in the day, so I'm kind of a little fried from the whole day, so I apologize. But I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for day one of albums that are 40 years old. I almost said it wrong again, in 2023. And till then, I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you later on. Bye-bye.